Welcome to Dollar Side Hustle, your go-to podcast for all things side hustle. It's actually pretty surprising how much demand there is right now for video editing skills. Seriously, some people are making decent money just like polishing up videos for social media. And the cool thing is, even if you're a total beginner, you can potentially get a piece of this action. So today, we're really going to dive deep into how you, yes, you listening, can turn video editing into a money-making side hustle.
That's exactly right. Video content is just everywhere now. It's exploded.
Right.
And that means businesses, creators, everyone needs people who can make that content look good, look professional. So our mission today is basically to break it down, give you the actual steps to go from, maybe zero editing experience to actually earning cash.
Okay, that sounds great, because I imagine someone listening is thinking, all right, I'm interested, but where do I even start? Finding those first paying gigs feels, well, a bit daunting.
Oh, it definitely can. But the trick is, you don't need some massive big break right away. You got to look closer to home. Think local, like right around you. Are there any student filmmakers you know? Maybe they need help cutting their projects together. Or musicians. Local bands trying to get simple music videos made.
Okay. Local shops, too, maybe. Needing stuff for Instagram or TikTok.
Exactly. Those small businesses often need short, snappy clips for their social media. They might not have the time or skills themselves. Those everyday needs, those are your potential entry points.
All right, I wasn't even thinking that small scale. My mind went straight to, like, needing to land a big YouTuber or something.
Nope, not necessary at the start.
Yeah.
Be resourceful. Just look around, ask people, see who's already making videos and might need a hand. This gets you crucial experience, and it helps you build something absolutely vital, your portfolio.
Ah, the portfolio. Your visual resume, basically. Shows what you can do. Makes sense. But okay, what about those early gigs? Sometimes they don't pay much, or maybe they even ask you to do it for free. That feels tricky.
It is tricky. It's definitely a balancing act. Think of those first few low pay or maybe even free projects as like an investment. What are you getting back? Is it solid experience on a real project?
Okay.
Will you get a really strong piece you can put in that portfolio? Could it connect you with people? Maybe someone who knows someone who will pay later.
So it's about being smart about which free or low-paying things you say yes to, making sure there's a real payoff for you, not just them.
Precisely. You need to be strategic. Set clear boundaries from the start. Be upfront about what you hope to gain. Like, okay, I could do this for a reduced rate, but I'd need a testimonial, or I need to be able to use clips for my portfolio.
Get it in writing, maybe?
Ideally, yes,
Yeah.
or at least very clear communication. The main thing is, don't fall into the trap of doing free work forever.
Yeah.
It has to be a stepping stone, right?
Got it. A stepping stone, not a resting place.
Okay. Now, what about online platforms? Lots of beginners hear about like Fiverr or Upwork. Are those good places to start? They can be, yeah. They definitely serve a purpose, especially for getting your feet wet with the whole freelance thing. You'll learn about bidding, talking to clients, hitting deadlines, kind of the business side of it all.
Like a crash course in freelancing basics.
Exactly. It's a real-world learning ground, which is valuable. Beaut. You also have to be aware of the downside.
Which is?
The pricing can be really competitive, like extremely competitive. You often see people offering super low rates just to get any job. It can feel like a race to the bottom sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that being discouraging if you're trying to value your skills.
Right. So my advice is use them, sure, get some initial experience, maybe build a small portfolio there, but have a plan to move beyond them. Your ultimate goal should be building your own client relationships where you have more control over pricing and the work you take on.
Okay, so use Fiverr or Upwork as a launch pad, maybe. But don't plan to build your whole career there.
That's a great way to put it. A launch pad, not the final destination. Aim to build your own network.
All right, let's shift gears a bit to the technical side. What skills does someone absolutely need to start making money doing this software, that kind of thing?
Okay, yeah, the absolute foundation is getting good with at least one piece of NLE software.
NLE. Sounds technical. Break that down for us.
Sure. NLE stands for nonlinear editing software. Think of old school film editing. They literally cut and physically spliced film together in a specific order, right? Linear. And NLE is the digital version. It lets you take all your video clips, chop them up, move around anywhere you want, add effects, sound, basically assemble the final video on a computer. It's your digital cutting room.
Okay, got it. Digital cutting room. Makes sense. So what are the main NLEs people use? the industry standards.
You'll hear a few names come up again and again. Adobe Premiere Pro is huge. Apple's Final Cut Pro is popular, especially on Macs. Then there's DaVinci Resolve, which started famous for color correction but is now a full NLE. And it even has a really powerful free version. And Avid Media Composer is still a major player, especially in like film and broadcast TV.
Wow, okay, several options. How do you choose?
Do a bit of research. See which one fits your computer, your budget. Many offer free trials. Premiere Pro works well if you use other Adobe stuff. Final Cut is Mac only. Resolve's free version is amazing. Just pick one to start with and really focus on learning it well.
And what about other software? I hear people talk about After Effects or Audition, Photoshop. Are those necessary right away?
Not immediately essential just for basic cutting, but knowing even a little bit about them gives you a big edge. After Effects is for motion graphics, visual effects, think animated text, cool transitions, that kind of stuff. Audition is all about audio, cleaning it up, mixing it, making it sound professional. Super important, often overlooked. And Photoshop, well, that's for images, creating graphics you might use in the video.
So knowing those makes you more versatile, more valuable to a client.
Absolutely. You can offer more services, handle more complex projects. And honestly, this field changes fast. You need to keep learning. Like just knowing how to properly resize a video for different platforms, widescreen for YouTube, square for Instagram, vertical for TikTok. That skill alone is super valuable right now.
That's a really practical example. Okay, you mentioned some technical terms before, codecs and aspect ratios. Can we demystify those quickly? They sound intimidating.
Yeah, they sound complex, but the basic idea isn't too bad. Think of a codec like a special zip file for video. It compresses the huge raw video data so it's smaller and easier to handle, then decompresses it for playback. Different codecs affect quality and file size.
Okay, like a compression recipe?
Sort of. And aspect ratio, that's just the shape of the video frame. Like a movie theater screen is wide, right? That's one aspect ratio. An old TV was almost square, that's another. A phone screen held upright is tall and skinny. Knowing about these just helps make sure your final video looks right wherever it's being shown.
Got it. Codecs compress, aspect ratio is the shape that helps. Okay, so skills are building, portfolio is maybe starting. How do we actually find clients who will pay? Especially consistently.
Right, the million-dollar question. This is where networking really comes in.
Networking, okay, again, sounds kind of corporate, stiff.
Yeah, it can have that image, but it doesn't have to be like that at all. For a video editor, it just means connecting with people who might need what you offer. And start local. Seriously, we mentioned those small businesses. Walk in, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a local video editor. I help businesses create content for social media.
Just walk in and pitch. Does that work?
You'd be surprised. Many small business owners are overwhelmed by social media video. Offer a solution. Think beyond businesses, too. Community groups, schools doing events, local bands we mentioned. Think creatively about who might need video help in your own community.
Okay, so tap into the local scene. What about online?
Definitely important, too. Get yourself a decent profile on LinkedIn. Build a simple website or use a portfolio site like Behance or Vimeo to showcase your best work. Be active on social media where your potential clients might hang out. Join relevant Facebook groups, filmmaking groups, small business groups, content creator groups.
So it's about making connections both offline and online, putting yourself out there.
Exactly. You need to be visible, let people know what you do. Opportunities often come from unexpected connections.
Okay, makes sense. Now, moving from just grabbing any gig to getting more consistent, maybe better paying work. You mentioned specialization earlier. Let's dig into that.
Yeah, specialization is key for leveling up. Instead of being the person who says, yeah, I can edit kind of anything, you become the person they think of for a specific type of video.
The go-to person for, say, wedding videos or...
Exactly. Or real estate videos, huge market right now with virtual tours. Or maybe you're great at editing tutorials for online courses or gaming highlights. When you specialize, clients needing that specific thing are more likely to seek you out and potentially pay more for your expertise.
Right, because you're not just a general editor, you're an expert in their kind of video. How does someone pick a niche, though, especially when they're new?
It's really about finding the sweet spot between two things: what the market actually needs and what you genuinely enjoy doing. What kind of editing gets you excited? What niches do you see growing? Don't just chase the money if you hate the type of video. Your lack of passion will show.
Find something there's demand for, but also something you actually like working on.
Precisely. Passion leads to better work, which attracts better clients. It's a positive cycle.
Okay, let's talk money. Pricing. This trips up so many beginners. How do you figure out what to charge? Is there a magic number?
Huh. If only. No magic number, unfortunately. But the starting point is research. Always research. See what other editors in your area or even online with similar experience levels are charging for similar work.
Spy on the competition, basically.
Well, yeah, get a feel for the market rates. Then factor in your experience, be honest about it, and how complex the project seems. You don't want to sell yourself short, but you also need to be realistic when you're starting. It's often okay to start a little lower to get those first crucial portfolio pieces and testimonials.
And then raise your rates as you get better and more confident.
Exactly. Build experience, build your portfolio, build your confidence, and then gradually increase your pricing. It's a process.
Okay. Now, beyond the technical editing skills,
Right.
what about the people skills? Dealing with clients, how important is that?
Oh, hugely important. Critical, really. You're not just clicking buttons, you're working with people. You need to understand their vision, their needs, their budget. Communication is everything. Being a good listener is probably half the battle.
So you can actually deliver what they want, not just what you think they want.
Precisely. And you need to handle feedback well. Clients will have changes, suggestions. Sometimes they might not even know how to articulate what they want changed.
Mm.
You need to be patient, professional, and not get defensive,
Easier said than done sometimes, I bet.
for sure. But framing it as building a relationship, not just a transaction, really helps. Happy clients come back and refer you.
Good point. Okay, looking back, what are some common pitfalls or mistakes new editors make when trying to start this side hustle?
A big one is definitely underestimating time. Editing always takes longer than you think, especially with revisions. Always factor in buffer time. Another one is neglecting the business side. Forgetting to track income and expenses, not using simple contracts, being messy with invoices.
Right, it's not just the fun creative stuff.
Exactly. You are running a business, even if it's small or on the side. Treat it like one from the beginning.
That's solid advice. And this can be intense work, right? Especially juggling it with a main job or studies. How do you avoid burnout?
Yeah, burnout is real in editing. You're staring at a screen, often under deadline pressure. Setting boundaries is key. Know when to say no. Don't take on absolutely everything. And prioritize taking breaks. Seriously. Step away, get some fresh air, do something completely different. Don't let editing consume your entire life.
Protect your sanity, basically.
Your
Yeah.
physical and mental health, absolutely. You need balance to stay creative and productive long term.
Okay, one last area I want to touch on for people thinking more long term. Building a personal brand as an editor, what does that even mean?
It's about your unique signature. What makes your editing style recognizable? What sets you apart beyond just technical competence? Think
Yeah.
about it. You could have two editors who are equally skilled, technically, but one might have a really distinct visual style, or a knack for storytelling, or a specific type of energy in their edits. That's their brand.
So it's like your creative fingerprint on the work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's your identity as a creator. To develop it, you need to be honest with yourself. What kind of editing truly excites you? Documentaries, fast-paced action, moody, atmospheric pieces. Then start refining your aesthetic choices consciously. Your music selections, your color grading, your transitions, the pacing. Develop a consistent visual language.
And make sure your online presence reflects that style.
Exactly. Your website, your portfolio, your social media, they should all feel cohesive and communicate your brand. Consistency builds trust and attracts the right kind of clients, the ones who want your specific style.
Wow. Okay. So it's a journey from basic skills to finding clients, specializing, and eventually even defining your own unique brand.
It really is.
This has been incredibly insightful. So just to recap the big takeaways for everyone listening, really focus on honing those core editing skills, strategically build that portfolio, figure out your niche or specialization, and start thinking about cultivating your unique personal brand.
Absolutely. And maybe the biggest takeaway is patience and persistence. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes effort, learning from mistakes, and sticking with it. It's definitely a journey.
Couldn't agree more. And who knows, with enough dedication, that side hustle could absolutely grow into something much bigger.
The potential is definitely there.
Well, to you, our fantastic listener, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of video editing as a side hustle. If you found this deep dive valuable, please take a moment to like and subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps us out. And hey, don't forget to check out the links in the description below. We sometimes include affiliate links for tools or resources we mention, and using them is a great way to support the show at no extra cost to you. And of course, to explore even more ways to generate extra income, be sure to visit our website, dollarsidehustle.com. Until our next deep dive, keep hustling and stay tuned for more dollar-generating side hustle ideas.